on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here's your host, Nicole Griffith.
And welcome back into the Ticket Weeknights. I'm your host, Nicole Griffith. You can call or text us at 402-464-5685. An exciting show so far. Talked a little bit about volleyball, women's basketball, the fact that I flew in flyover that Big Sky seems to not care about.
We all think it's very impressive, Nicole.
Thank you. Nope, it's fine.
I told you I thought it was cool. I just didn't know what happened.
Nope, it's fine.
Austin thought it was really cool too.
He didn't even talk about it. You can't just bring someone in like that.
Okay.
I'm supposed to introduce them.
Fire away.
I'm also really bad at introducing people.
Great.
So
Perfect combo.
we have joining us today Austin Ellen, the former Nebraska football player.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that the first time you've heard that?
Absolutely. And it's just trying to get me in my feels in the first minute.
Hit him like a ton of bricks.
Just start crying.
Yeah.
What goes through your mind hearing that?
It's feels like I just joined the team last year, and now it's been 5 years later. And
Yeah.
hearing that is like, whoa, that's a shot to the gut. But
Speaking of getting hit like a ton of bricks, I've noticed that you
You cannot just take over this.
No, I'm gonna say whatever comes to my head. It feels like you always get smashed when you like you out of all the people, and like it's weird optics too because you're the tallest guy on the field, but it always feels like you're taking the biggest hits for some reason. I think I tweeted that you lead the team in getting flipped over when you get tackled because they don't know what else to do. They're like, where do I hit this guy? He's too tall. I just need you to talk about that for a few minutes or seconds because yeah, I don't know, 10 minutes or something. No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I mean, you're right. I'm rather tall and lanky and awkward. So when anybody hits me any sort of way, I'm gonna fall awkwardly.
Yeah, it looks odd.
And yeah, it seems
And
like,
you spring right up.
well, you gotta be the tough guy, But I feel like if anybody sees a 6'9" guy running at him, they're not gonna want to try and tackle him at the waist or anywhere. They're gonna dive right for your knees and ankles. And if I had a lick of athleticism in me, I probably should have hurdled.
You should try the jump. Yeah.
Yeah,
you
but
gotta work that into the combine.
it would make the fall look twice as bad if I get clipped in the foot and then as I'm jumping.
Yeah, that'd be an issue.
It looks bad enough already when I get rolled up, but I don't know. I probably, looking back, probably should have tried it once in a while.
We ought to count the somersaults. We can go back.
Points,
Yeah, exactly. I was curious about that because I noticed.
Cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you think
Smooth.
that you would end this season with a record of 602 yards?
I honestly didn't even know the record what it was at the beginning of the year, and then about halfway through three-quarters of the way through the year, somebody mentioned something about me being close. Like, oh, that's cool. And then the more games went on, and I was like, oh wow, it's a legit possibility. Like, I'm going to get this. It's not like I was that was in the forefront of my mind. I mean, winning a football game was priority number one. But then when it happened, it was people were congratulating me.
Well, you were only like 10 yards short going into the Iowa or something like that. It was really close. You only needed like one catch or something like that going into Iowa, right? And then it didn't happen for a while.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't realize it was only 13 yards.
13
away.
yards,
13 yards away until after the game, or it's after my first catch, and they said, "Oh, congrats on the record."
There it is.
Watch you drop like a 14-yard, like you're like short.
That would be rough. But no, of course, he always comes through. He's the leading tight end
with a hurdle.
With the hurdle and the flip at the end of it.
So you are not coming back next year.
Mm-hmm.
What's your source on that?
I think the person sitting across from me who told me 3 minutes ago. No. What went into how do you even begin to explain the process that went into that? Because it seems like there's a lot of decisions that go into that.
So there's a lot of not backstory to it, but there's a lot of thought process that goes into it. A lot of conversation with previous high school coaches, family, friends, these coaches. And it ultimately came down to me deciding that what's my draft ceiling, so to say. Because I mean, I had a quote unquote record breaking year, and statistics.
It's not really quote unquote if it happens. So
I mean, I just
True.
didn't want to be that guy that says, "Oh, look at me, I had a record-breaking year." But no, but
We got to start selling yourself. It's time. It's got to be Austin Allen time for Austin Allen now.
you know what? Yeah, you're right. I had a record-breaking year this year, yeah, but it got to a point where I thought to myself, say I have the same, if not maybe a better year next year. What does that improve me in the draft wise? Is that a round maybe? Is that where does that improve me, and is that worth the wear and tear that would be put on my body for that year? Would I rather have that at taking a shot at the next level at the NFL for a team? And that's ultimately what it came down to, is just how much where my draft ceiling is in comparison to how much it can improve to the possibility of me getting injured and decreasing that draft stock.
Sure.
So to say.
How much do you think about like striking while the iron is hot? You know, like you said, record-breaking year. Your draft stock is as high as it's ever been right now, and then weighing that against what it could be potentially next year. Like you said,
I mean, you got to take advantage of a hot situation. I mean, it's people are high on me right now, and I think that it's a good opportunity all around for me to take my shot. I mean,
right, for sure.
they start talking about like NFL draft stock kind of like before the season, don't they?
yeah, it's they give you like preseason grades, and that comes from your film the last couple of years, and then a lot of times they do like a midseason grade, but I didn't see any.
Right.
I didn't hear anything about it.
Well, there's just so many people.
That's right. Yeah. And then they'll start now coming out with draft grades from this season, and I mean, I'm kind of curious to see where
Do you
that is.
not know like where you fall yet, or what your
No,
preseason
no.
game grade was?
No. I mean, it'll be cool to see, but that's not really what I'm worried about. I'm more concerned that I can take care of what I can take care of, and if I put up the numbers I need to on pro day or combine or whatever day that is, and I think like the stats and the size that I bring will take care of itself, and whatever team that wants to come knocking.
So now you have to adjust from, Nebraska football and the grind of that, doing that every day, to now you're kind of on your own at the moment. You have to prepare yourself for the next step. What do the next few weeks and months kind of look like for you?
Well, I woke up this morning on my own time, which is weird.
What time was that?
I mean, I slept until 8:15, which is crazy.
Woo!
Yeah,
That's
for a lot of
sleeping in.
a lot of people, that's pretty early still, but for me, for a lot of football guys, that's
Compared to 5 before that normally?
not that early, but probably 6.
Okay. Well, look, it makes a difference.
Yeah.
It makes a difference.
Woke up at 8:15, didn't know what to do. Cooked myself some eggs. Decided it was warm enough weather to go golf, so I went golfing with my roommate.
Yes.
And
You're like, I'm a free agent, baby.
yeah, I'm on my own time now. I'm on my school. Nobody can tell me what to do. No, but probably tomorrow I'll start my workouts back up and staying in shape. And
Well, I think you probably earned a
He
week
gave
off.
him 2 days off. Gave himself 3. 3 days off is what Austin gave himself.
Yeah, I don't think there's any shame in taking a couple more days. But then, when do you start getting into, like, do you take feedback from, I guess who are you talking to get, what you need to improve on at the next level, and where you need to kind of hone in on, and what does that kind of look like?
Yeah, I mean, that comes with talking with agents. I mean, I'm gonna have to sign an agent at some point, and they're in direct contact with scouts and teams that really are evaluating me as a player. They watched all my film, and they can see that, hey, he lacks in so in such and such area. During your training, you need to get with him and find a trainer that's going to help him improve on this. And that's kind of where I'm at right now, is trying to find the right agent for me that's going to help me put me in the best situation possible. So that's kind of my thought process for the next week or two, is just work out, find the right agent, find the right fit for me.
Yeah. How does that, like, how do you find an agent?
Connections. Yeah. He knows
coaches.
Yeah. They know somebody who knows somebody, and then they refer them to me, or honestly, just by a Twitter DM, and then you can do a little research on who that guy is, and then respond to him if you want to. And or just somewhere along the line, somebody gets your phone number and trust that they're just not a creeper.
You never know.
Yeah.
Well, you said that you've been talking a lot with Jack Stoll. Talk about once a week.
Mm-hmm.
Do you talk to what kind of are those conversations like, and who are you kind of keeping in touch with, like pro Big Red, I guess?
Yeah, Jack's been the guy that's, I've been in touch with most, just because he's been the guy that's been there for me since my freshman year. And conversations with him are more pointed towards what the daily life in the NFL is like with Jack, and what the process looked like for him to get on the team that he is, and what the process is like when
He was drafted.
Undrafted,
Okay.
I believe. Yeah.
and that kind of what it looked like when Ertz left, and he was now the second guy in the room, and how that all went down. Excuse me. But conversations with him are great, just because if you know Jack at all, he's got his little punchlines, his words that he uses on every single sentence ever. I don't know. I don't even know how to word it. He just got a certain bank of just punchlines that he uses, and it just makes you laugh. But,
did he regrow the mullet, or is he?
no, he's
okay. Probably smart.
On a side note, I'll let him come out with it, but Travis cut his mullet today. Not completely off. Not completely off.
No.
But it was
Like trimmed it?
Yeah, he cut about 4 inches off.
Oh no.
Yeah,
is there going to be like a hype video or some sort of, like
Gone too soon.
notes screenshot announcement from Travis?
I don't know what he's gonna do for the mullet Mondays or Thursdays or whatever day of the week he does. He does it for every single one. But
oh man,
I don't know if I should have broke it. I'm sure he's gonna be mad I broke that news.
Breaking news from Austin Allen himself.
Now we're gonna have cameras following him around LinkedIn
just
to see what it looks like. Yeah, well, it's a big story on the team, that's for sure.
Who are your roommates?
I live with Travis Vokalek, Will Honus, and Lane McCallum.
Okay, I didn't know Lane was a senior.
Yeah, he came in the same class as me.
I never know what age anybody is.
Oh yeah, everybody's got an extra year now, and the redshirt is so and so year, and they got 3 years.
Yeah, he walked out because I remember interviewing him after the Northwestern game.
Mhm.
You know, the big
yes,
walk off.
in 2019,
and then he was just getting recognized. And I'm like, am I that old?
Right. Well, he had
senior day.
His career as a kicker was pretty short lived. Only a
one
few
game?
weeks there. Yeah, but never.
It's crazy too. There's guys on the team who are 21 years old who are redshirt freshmen just because of the years and the redshirt.
Right.
Yeah.
We have fourth year sophomores and third year freshmen.
Yeah.
It's out of control. And then on the other side of that, Will Honus, another guy that you just mentioned, is coming back for another year, which would be his 7th year of college or something like that.
Old man. He's a warrior. I mean, who can go through 3 ACL tears and
crazy
and try. His love for the game is just crazy for him to want to come back for that. But
he has a mustache.
Oh yeah, he's got a great mustache.
Oh wow,
he is not afraid to rock it anywhere. And
respect.
If he's going on a date or anything, he's not in the dating game or whatever right now, but like
Austin's just dropping all this information.
This is good.
He'll rock that mustache no matter what situation it is.
Wow,
he's going for an interview. He'll rock that mustache.
That's good, man. That's confident.
So circling to high school, I have to ask you this question. So you went to a couple of Aurora games this year, or I guess maybe how many do you get to go to? Not very many, I guess. If it's like
only I guess 3 if you count the championship. But the 2 bye weeks we had, I went home, saw the family, and my little cousin plays in the line for Aurora, so I went home and watched.
How about that? Well, I was at 2 Aurora games. I saw you at both of them. Is that? And I feel like we have to get video of you guys there. Is that weird to you? You're just can I just enjoy this high school game in peace, please?
It is a little weird, but it comes with being a Husker football player. You're gonna get tracked. Whatever. I remember specifically the second time I went there. We scored a touchdown. You cut a video of me just getting just absolutely denied of a high five by the people behind me.
You crushed it.
Do we have this video?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we need to
make it exists. It is on Twitter.
Okay, good. Yeah.
And then, but I saved it, high fived myself, and then the other person behind them saw it. They high fived me, so it was a good transition.
Okay, good.
So were those people your family, or just
they're the friends.
Okay, they just didn't give you a high five.
Yeah, no, they just denied it.
Yeah, it was a close game. It was a scut game, and then
semifinal game.
It was not cold at all. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was a bad night. I did not go to that one. I was at the state championship game though. We're a pretty good squad. The running back was a pretty good player. I thought.
Yeah. Carlos.
Yeah, Galazzo was his name. Pretty good. I hadn't really heard of him before that, but he made his name known. Aurora's in good shape, man.
Yeah, we always pride ourselves on being the small team in Class B that always make noise with all the big dogs, and I think they're going down to C1 next year. So
how many years separated were you from? Wow, they're going to C1. I didn't know that. Yep. How many years separated were you from Andrew Rodriguez?
Oh goodness,
a bunch, right? At least 5
or 6. Yeah.
But because that's kind of the waves of Aurora football players. Yeah. Were there any in between that ended up being Huskers?
Tyson Brockmeyer.
Yeah. So there's a pretty good pipeline there.
Yeah. The running back from Aurora is actually his uncle is Andrew Rodriguez.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Time flies.
Inside information. Oh yeah, it does.
Well, I appreciate you being a good sport because sometimes I feel like I've gotten Adrian before at like a Waverly game, and I'm just like, I'm really sorry, but I have to record this.
Yeah,
so,
that's good.
Well, then there was a line of kids I saw the video of the line of kids lining up during one of those early championship games just to like get an autograph and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. I mean, but you got to do it.
what can you say about your quarterback? Adrian's taken like a lot of criticism over the years, and finding out this year that he's playing with a broken jaw and a high ankle sprain, and then he had to get surgery after what game was that? The last Wisconsin game. Just how do you just describe what kind of leader and co-captain that he was?
Yeah, I mean, my respect for that man has only grown over my 4 years here, or 4 years that I've known him. I've always known he's been a tough guy, but he exemplified that to a really high level this year, playing through what he played through. Yeah, I mean, I can't even imagine having a broken jaw and trying to play the game of football how many times you just get simply hit in the head by something simple or, just a simple block. I realize Adrian doesn't block, but your head will just ring for just a simple, on the line of scrimmage block. But he's a great leader, and you can't say enough good things about him. But he was my quarterback, and he'll always be my quarterback in Nebraska. And just what he went through as a leader. I mean, when you're a quarterback in Nebraska, you get all the blame when things are going bad, but you also get all the praise when things are going good. But everybody's got an opinion with social media nowadays, and they can say whatever they want behind a computer, and that kind of. It's not like we don't see it because we get notified and it pops up right on our phone. So you read it, and
right.
What he's gone through in terms of that and his injuries and just battling as a leader of this team, it's unreal. I can't say enough good things about him. Like I said,
the thing that I appreciated about people would try to ask, and he never said anything about the fact that he had a broken jaw for the majority of the year until the very end. And people would try to ask whether it's he's up there, he's like, are you okay? And or you pull him off to the side, he's like, look, I'm just not going to talk about it. He wouldn't say anything about it, and he played basically the entire season with a broken jaw.
Yeah. You ask him how you're feeling, like you could tell something like when he had a broken jaw.
Yeah,
he wasn't talking right. Like, you good, bro?
Right.
No, I'm good. Like,
well,
let's go win this football game.
I noticed the week after for the Northwestern game, just down on the field before the game, that he had the rubber bands in and stuff like that, and then he wouldn't have them at the press conferences. And I'm like, he's clearly hurt. His jaw is basically being duct taped together right now during these football games, but he wouldn't say anything about it. And playing through the shoulder injury in the second half of the Wisconsin game that happened in the first half, he played the entire second half, and for an injury he's going to have surgery on. It's super impressive. Yeah. And that guy, ton of respect from everybody, I think.
I know this season, breaking news, didn't turn out how anyone wanted it to go. We've been talking about it a lot, but what were some personal highlights for you off the field, on the field, with your roommates, with your teammates? Like, what are some things you're going to look back on and be like, I'm thankful, or I remember that time?
Yeah. We knew going in the beginning of the season that this was one of the toughest schedules Nebraska's probably really ever had. We had some bruisers on a schedule, and that's kind of what you get with the Big Ten. But I'll remember this team. I've been here 5 years. I've been a part of, really 5 different locker rooms, and this is the most that this team has bonded and really glued together. And it was evident this year. And on the defensive side of things, I feel like they kind of led the attack with getting this team bonded together and growing as a unit. But that's the thing I'm going to look back and miss most is just the guys in the locker room, especially this year, just because how much we grew together as a team.
Those close losses. What do you even after it happens a couple times? It's like, all right, one's gonna go our way. Like, what happens when it happens? You lost 9 games by less than 10 points, 7 games by a touchdown or less. How do you even reconcile with that?
It's tough. Feels like I've been a part of it for 4 years now.
Right.
Whatever curse is on Nebraska or people talk about, I don't know. But people always ask me what I could attribute it to, what's the reason? And I just don't know. I mean, we shoot ourselves in the foot a lot. I mean, whether it be on special teams and on defense or offense. And I think it just comes down to just all three cylinders of the game not executing. And when the offense is having a good game, it seems like the defense is struggling. And then when we're both clicking, it seems like we'll shoot ourselves in the foot in special teams and something doesn't go right. So being able to play a complete football game as an entire team, I think that's where we lacked this year.
Mm-hmm.
Never got on the same page. Just as far as that was concerned. You're right. You notice that every single time.
How do you block out like the social media then? You said it's like hard to see. You guys see it. It just like people can tag you and can just like, it's not a great place after games. Do you just, I remember Adrian made the comment. He's like, yeah, I just had to kind of turn it off for a while. And like, how do you see it? How do you not see it? Like, do you choose to look at it? How do you handle social media during the year?
Yeah, I don't let it bother me. I mean, I read pretty much everything. Nebraska fans are great, and a lot of times you don't have a problem. And then when you do, somebody does say something, you're just like, that was really messed up of you to say. You click on their profile, and it's Joe Smo 7964, and then they have 4 followers. And you're like, well, he's just a keyboard warrior that's just trying to get under people's skin, and then you're just like, well, that's nothing at all.
Right.
But for the most part, Nebraska fans are great. I mean, there's obviously people who are trying to debunk you and dethrone Frost and get their opinion out about every single thing ever. But it's not really a big problem.
How do you feel about the way that your group, and it's kind of like we said before, there's a whole bunch of different recruiting classes in the classes that you're leaving with. Mm-hmm. But how do you feel about the way that your group kind of leaves it and what's ahead for Nebraska football?
I think we showed just how powerful the offense could be when things are clicking for the offense. There's obviously things that you need to take care of in terms of penalties and up front and running the right routes on the outside. I feel like sometimes we shot ourselves in the foot just because guys are on different pages of what we're trying to run or concept-wise. But I feel good about the locker room we leave. Like I said, the camaraderie and the amount of togetherness that we built in that locker room is I think it's just going to pick right up from where we left it, so to say, last week, right into these off-season workouts. I think there's a lot of guys that are hungry to never lose by less than a score.
Yeah, that's got to fuel people, right?
It's frustrating, and I know guys feel the same way, and it's only going to pick up the motivation and fuel that they have for this offseason.
Do you have a favorite NFL team?
I actually didn't for a long time, and then I moved into a house with Cade Warner, Christian Banker, and Lane McCallum in college, who are 3 of the biggest NFL fans probably out there, and they kind of like forced me to pick a team. And I always played. We had a Nintendo 64 when we were little, and we had the NFL Blitz 2000, and it was
the best.
Oh yeah, for sure. And
you guys are nerds.
Just throwing the bomb every time.
Yep. And then I always liked the Titans fire emblem. As a little kid, I was like, that's a sick emblem. Yeah. So I told him, I was like, hey, I'm going to pick the Titans. I'm going to cheer for the Titans. And they said, well, you got to get a jersey. So we went to some like sketchy website. It was some Chinese wholesale website.
I love those.
And then got me a AJ Brown jersey. So now I'm a Titans fan.
The thing about those websites, like you go on there and you order a jersey and you'll get it. It might be a month or two later or whatever, but it'll cost you $20 and you'll get it. And then you'll try and go on that website again and it'll be gone because it's been, wiped off the face of the earth. But there's like, you'll go to the same website. It's just like one character different because they bought a new, like it's great. It's super sketchy, but it's perfect.
And when it works out in your favor, it's awesome.
Who was the jersey? Who was
AJ Brown?
AJ Brown.
Yep.
Austin Allen, the Aurora native turned Titans.
And now put it on the scouting report. Huge Titans guy. And if the Titans draft him, he would love to play for the Titans.
So
Nashville would be a cool place to live, though.
Yes.
Hello, Titans. Tennessee Titans.
Shout out.
Yep. Get Vrabel on.
Well, thank you, Austin. That's really all I had. Happer?
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in and thanks for sharing that with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Anything you want to say to Husker Nation before we let you go?
I mean, I can't thank you guys enough. I mean, you guys have supported me through thick and thin as of being a captain. It's had its ups and downs, but you guys supported me throughout the entire process. And you guys, I mean, in this room even, like it's been unbelievable for the support that I've received. And throughout the whole process in the whole 5 years. And I just can't thank you guys enough.
And we'll be watching you on the Titans on this
Yeah,
can't wait.
here.
Yeah.
Oh, there's our friend Austin. Thank you, Austin. We appreciate it. Austin Allen, the former Nebraska football player. And we are going to take a break and round out the first hour after this.
93